Hey, so you see me backstage. Wait, are we live? We're live. We're live. We are live, I guess. I was not expecting to go live right now. But let's give a moment for Rian Waters to come up. And so, quick refresher if you don't know who Rian Waters is, he is a character that Turtleboy has talked about, and he has had some stories said about him. Now, I think there has been a lot of evidence shown, but everybody gets a chance to say their side of the story, and that's my dog. Thank you. We'll give him a second to lick the water, and then he'll stop being loud. Okay, perfect. Um, so he has been accused of, some really atrocious things, such as hurting his girlfriend and kicking a dog. But we are going to sit down and talk with him. We're going to learn about his life, and he said that he would be coming on in just a few moments and that he is getting ready. So I am really excited to have this talk. I think there have been a lot of people so far who have been questioning, why are you giving this person the ability to talk? But really, that is what this whole show is about. This whole show is about giving people the opportunity to say their piece and to express how and why they are the way that they are. I've had controversial characters already. We've already had Aiden Kearney, the writer for Turtleboy, on, and I really like him, but there's many people, in Massachusetts who are liberal who think that he's, some like supreme racist, So he's controversial. And then you have Martin Shkreli, who, there's a lot of things that could be said about him, positive and negative, and I think that everybody gets a chance to express themselves. And then also Chili DeCastro, he also has a ton of positives and negatives, depending on who you ask. When you ask his fans, when you ask people who love him, he can do no wrong. He is the smartest, greatest guy alive. And then if you ask his haters, he's the dumbest person in the world. So that's why I'm interviewing Rian. That's why I'm giving him the opportunity to speak, because this channel is about giving people the opportunity to speak. So yeah, that's what this is about. And we told him that we would be starting at 7 o'clock. So it makes sense. I actually did not think that we'd be going live right away. So that was a miscommunication with somebody, and we'll work on that in the future. And but it's going to be a good show. I'm really excited, and I really want you guys, if you have questions, save them for the end, because at the end I'm going to be asking people for questions that they may want me to ask Rian. So if you want your question asked, save it for the end. And yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll have people throw in questions. Yeah, I know a lot of people who watch Turtleboy or Turtleboy fans, they had a lot of questions last night thrown into the chat. So hopefully they're watching with other good questions. And yeah. All right, let's read some of the chat. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I am in my new apartment, in case any people are like, oh, where is she? Yeah, I moved again. Yeah, I'm constantly moving. So I am in my new apartment, and yes, it is in a new location, and I've decided not to give out where that city is because I learned my lesson. So I am somewhere in some state in some new apartment with my new job as a public defender for a new county, and I'm very excited. So it should be a good time. Should be really fun. It's a beautiful area. I'm really enjoying it. And it is Yeah, it's basically the same temperature, maybe a little bit colder, but I'm really excited. It's really a cute town. So, yeah. Hey, 13 Kings. Wow. Hey, Amanda. It's so nice to see so many people that I know here. Lionel Meeks. I see Turtle Boy Live is here. And Lauren Uno. That is great. That is great. So many people. There are so many great people. And I just cannot. The only person that we're missing is the most important guest of the night, and that is Rian Waters. I did message him recently. He told me that he is going to be ready soon. We told him 7 o'clock. So, oh, do I see an article on the screen? See an article on the screen. We'll bring that up later. We have a lot of articles that we get to reference because we have, a wonderful journalist who's written all about Rian Turtleboy. If you subscribe to me and don't know who Turtleboy is, that's not many of you. But if that is you, then you should definitely check out Turtleboy, Turtleboy Sports. Yeah, you can Google it. You'll find it. Turtleboy Rian Waters will pull up a lot of articles about him. They've had multiple legal issues, and I'm really excited to go into some of those legal issues in tonight's conversation. And yeah.
Hello, Lauren.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Excellent. Nice to be with you.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice to be with you. Thank you so much for reaching out. Actually, I wanted to start off by asking you what made you reach out.
Well, I seen that you did an interview with Chili, and I thought you were pretty fair with him. So I don't know. I just figured I'd give it a try.
Okay, yeah. I want to be fair. Um, and you have had some pretty crazy stories told about you. But before we get into that, can you tell me just a little bit about who you are?
Well, I mean, okay. So if I were to go back to growing up, my mom was a chemist, and she was a pastor's daughter, and my dad was a lawyer who was a Marine. So I traveled a lot as a kid, where I was born in Wyoming. I lived in Montana, Connecticut. Um, Mostly grew up in New England, but yeah, that's the that's the beginnings.
So, with your mom being a chemist, is that what got you into like building that machine that you built, which is
Yeah,
chemistry belt based?
that certainly helped, and it was certainly when I ended up okay. So yeah, to get into that, what happened with the extraction equipment is I came out to California, and the people I was around, they were just throwing away massive amounts of trim or cannabis trim, which is like when you trim the buds, there ends up being a byproduct of just like the leafy material. And yeah, I mean, there was just no way to, really process it and conveniently where you'd still be able to get a good quality product because it would spoil really bad or quickly in the state.
How
Well,
quickly?
well, I mean, if it goes over 100 degrees or 90 degrees, as it typically does in that area, in a matter of a couple days, but if it's refrigerated, it can actually stay for a long time. I mean, months. So it's um, conditions dependent. But anyway, so what ended up happening was in the very beginning there was like two big engineers working on extraction machines, and one of them, the one in Oregon, I ended up coming up and visiting, and he was just impressed with my past company and where I was, my location. And so me and him just kind of hit it off, and probably my mom being a chemist and all that probably helped, where he just kind of picked me as the one he wanted doing his new industrial machine.
Oh, so you partnered with someone.
Basically, yeah. Well, he
Oh,
actually more of just he gave me the initial idea. And then I also helped with tweaks with his first model, or like working out the kinks. And I ended up what I did, like when I say I pioneered it, like my big uh, advancements or whatnot, is I ended up creating the first commercially available, at least, machine that separated grades. which would be in the very beginning, in one chamber, you'd be able to put the pretty blonde stuff, and it would have like a lot of terpenes, the flavor and smell. And then you'd be able to put the, like what I would call food grade in another chamber, which would be like dark goop. And it would make it so that you could get the best quality and get the best yield at the same time. But
Okay. All right. And I watched some video where you're talking about, I think it was a Kickstarter, right?
yeah.
For yeah, and so you talked about that being inspired by your daughter, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was working on some hash things before my daughter was even born, but it certainly, yeah, there was certainly an idea, the interest in doing research, and more than that, it also, um, I mean, I just had to work extra hard to take care of her, and
Why?
it, well, she just like I was spending
Because
probably.
most people don't know who you are, so why? So people don't know like your daughter's condition. So like
That's
really
true. Okay,
explain
so that was.
explain everything as if the people watching have no idea who you are.
Yeah, so in 2014, my daughter was born, and at her 18th month doctor's checkup, but right after it, she started having hundreds of seizures a day, and we had a hard time with the local hospital in Red Bluff, California, where it's just really redneck, and it just didn't seem like a good place to bring a child that was with the seizure disorder. Like they just didn't seem
Right.
like they'd handle it competent enough. So we scheduled an appointment down in Sacramento with UC Davis actually, and
That's where I went to school, so that's why he said actually. But yeah.
but it was like 40 days down the road, and well, and actually our local doctor had like no idea. He was just like, wait for the neurologist. And so I ended up we brought her to a pot doctor. We found one that would accept children. And then we went to the first dispensary we went to. They had, it was based in olive oil, CBD oil. And it worked really good at the beginning of the bottle, where right away her seizures dropped by more than
All right.
90%.
What made you think to go to CBD?
Charlotte's Web had already happened in Colorado. And so there was already some publicity about it.
What's
Of
Charlotte's
work.
Web?
Yeah, in Colorado, there was a girl named Charlotte who had Dravet syndrome, I believe. And so she was having hundreds of seizures, and CBD cannabis oil controlled her seizures by, I think, actually like 100% or near 100%. Um, yeah, and we weren't as fortunate initially. Like we were only getting about 90%. She dropped down to like 30, 40 seizures a day. And I realized, which was amazing. I mean, going from 400 to 30, because at 400, she wasn't able to do anything. She wasn't like, all she could do is just like lay there and suffer. It was miserable. Um, so yeah, CBD was amazing. And then eventually, actually,
How
we ended up.
many how frequent is that? Like how many minutes between seizures?
Well, they would actually go in groupings. Um, but so at some points it could be 10 a moment, and a lot of hers would be myoclonic jerks, which would just be where her hands would jerk and legs. She'd also get giggling seizures. I actually forgot a lot of the names at the moment, but yeah, so I mean, at some hours it could be pretty frequent. And actually, she rarely got the worst seizures, which I noticed the worst seizures for her. They would happen if we gave her Tylenol 3 days in a row, like if she had a flu, and then we stopped giving her Tylenol. That's when she would end up having the worst type of seizures.
Hmm.
So I would avoid ever giving her Tylenol because of that. Um,
Okay. All
and
right.
But okay, so real quick to end on the CBD, we ended up going to Harborside, and Harborside, they had it in MCT oil, which is like coconut. They were
Mm-hmm.
getting it Jaden's juice, and Jaden is another boy who CBD helped, and that yeah, that controlled it a lot better consistently. Um, and yeah, it was pretty amazing. And we eventually figured out, and the doctor sucked. And
Mm-hmm.
in California, they knew what her condition was, but waited months to tell us. And then they were like, "Oh, well, it'll dramatically help with the ketogenic diet." And then they scheduled an appointment, and we showed up, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, we don't actually have the right nutritionist or whatever." And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I was upset, and I told Sam, my ex, I'm like, you just call any doctor in California. I don't care. We need to do it like now. Like I want, and we found someone in Oakland that did it that weekend. But
Oh, well, that's really fortunate.
yeah,
That's really fortunate. How old is your daughter now?
7, I believe, turning 8.
When's your birthday?
January. It's sorry, it caught me off guard. Beginning of January.
Yeah. And you don't have custody of her anymore?
No, I mean, and see, most of that is Turtle Boy's, thing. It's just that I haven't wanted to work on it until the Turtle Boy thing was resolved, because I just knew it wouldn't be a fair fight, and the courts have just been, it's just nonstop, dragging it on, where they just conclusory side with him, without any reason.
And you haven't tried to hire an attorney?
For you're saying my daughter?
No, I will get into it, but you're saying that the courts are simply siding with him. But for any of those issues in which the courts decided, did you have an attorney?
No.
Why not?
I mean, honestly, when I have looked a lot, with the state case, I haven't been as worried, as of recently. I mean, part of it is my work, it just goes above, where people, like one lawyer said, he goes, "I wouldn't want to mess with your thunder," after reading the
Mm-hmm.
briefs.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, the case is already so complex, and I obviously have an understanding of it. So it's just,
Was that attorney Michael Gaffney?
no, 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 no.
Do you have a
Michael,
relationship with Michael? I reached
no.
out to Michael actually for comment today before this show, but he didn't reach back for comment because I know that he wrote an affidavit, right, for you?
Yes, yes. And
So
that
do you
was the
have a
extent.
relationship with him?
No, okay. So how that ended up working out is I reached out to him because he had already sued Turtle Boy.
Mm.
And it was actually kind of funny. Like, even when I first talked to him, he gave off immediate red flags, where he was
Mm.
just like, he's like, "Yeah, everything we're saying is like, between us, because of attorney client privilege." And it's just like, I didn't hire you. I'm like, I know there's no,
Mm.
so it was just like, so he was off right away, and he was just giving me bad advice. Like, he was just, and constantly like trying to hint at like doing, say, it's Turtle Boy's tactics. So Turtle Boy was saying like, "Oh, he's just trying to waste money." And Mike Gaffney kept like sending emails just like, "Oh, if you do this, it'll waste money." And it's just like, that's not the goal. Like, what are you talking about? So
I
I would just ignore him. I would let him say his piece in the beginning. And I actually, while we're real quick on that, I'll note that even like if you look at the demand letter he wrote for Kate, it looks suspicious in where it seems like he was just trying to ruin her case. It seems
mm.
like he was just trying to make it that she would seem ridiculous and have no chance at bringing a lawsuit. That's my honest opinion.
That's interesting. You wouldn't. That wasn't the answer I was expecting, but um, so do you know anyone in that crowd, in that Kate crowd, the like Chrissy, Yaman, whatever?
I actually have not even directly talked to Chrissy. And
Mm.
Kate, Kate, actually, okay, so here's my feelings with Kate is it's just like, I mean, she has helped me in recent, since New Year's Eve or whatnot, where she's helped facilitate getting evidence to me. And that has been extremely useful.
For
Uh,
court.
yes.
Okay, so she's like trying to give you legal advice or legal help anyway.
No, yeah, she just, some of the
Legal
group
help.
chat messages and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
And how many are you guys still talking?
we have not talked much at all. She told me not to, like work with you or to like go on your channel or whatnot, but
Little me?
she
Me?
did.
She doesn't
She
like
did.
me?
I believe you guys do have a feud, but
I'm shocked and dismayed right now. I thought Kate was one of my best friends, but we'll move on. We'll move on. Um, wow, blows my mind.
well,
Anyway,
actually, well, real quick, I think with her, I have an issue where, like 2019, I tried to show her evidence. She wouldn't even look at it. And even now, she still won't look at it.
wow.
And then when she was talking about Aiden Kearney, she ended up saying she knows for a fact that she's not a pedophile. Now she didn't explain why any of the allegations that went against him are not credible, but she just jumps to the conclusion that she knows he's innocent. Now, I don't know how she follows him around all the time that she knows for sure he's innocent of that, but she knows that I'm guilty when she won't even look at my evidence. You see what I'm
So
saying
wait,
there?
so do you also not wait, are you friends with Kate or not friends with Kate?
Um, I'm not friends with Kate. No.
Okay, are you on good terms with Kate or bad terms?
Uh, it would be a weird neutral.
But she helps you. She like supplies you with evidence before court to try to help you beat Aiden in court.
Yeah, but it would be like a cop and what are the COs or the confidential informant. Um, do cops really like the confidential informants? Not really, but
Okay, how many times have you guys spoken?
maybe 3 times.
Who reached out to who?
Um, maybe she gave me the evidence in January.
So she reached out to you.
Yeah,
Did she
initially.
use what method did she use? Did she use Instagram, Facebook, and also what account?
Um, honestly, I think I don't know. I don't remember.
Interesting. So, okay, getting back to your daughter though. So you said she's 7,
I think, yeah.
and
All right.
how
Yeah.
many years did you have custody of her?
Up until basically the first 3 years.
Okay, until she was 3 years old.
Yeah, and technically it's basically because we ended the way we did, where my ex just took a bunch of money. There's been no reason for her to try to do anything with child support, so she hasn't bothered.
Okay. What was the end like? Can you explain what the end of the relationship looked like?
How that worked out. Okay, so to back up a bit, we were up in the mountains, or during the summer of 2000, I believe 16. Yeah, to 16. We were up in California, and she was trimming for like 3, 4 weeks at a time, maybe even longer, where she'd work on farms, and she'd make like $400 a day, trimming cannabis, and then she ended up coming back, or like we were at the mansion, and actually what initially triggered it, to be honest, is it was funny. There's the electric company had a bunch of helicopters flying around in like circles, just like over and over again around the mansion. And it seemed a little weird. But anyway, so she wanted to go home. And that was in like September, October, or September. And so I drove her back to Mass. And So for like 3 months, she was by herself in Massachusetts. And what I didn't realize is I dropped her off in like the worst neighborhood in like Three Rivers, Massachusetts.
Mm.
And she had a coke problem before I met her. So that's what I believe happened. Is I believe that I just had
I
she had
can't
weak.
substantiate. I just want to say, like, if she's watching, I can't say whether or not this is true. And this is your, this is
Yeah,
your.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough.
So, okay.
Either way, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's just my
So you're saying
opinion
that
based
you
on. And I
believe
said
she
I
had a
didn't know
coke
for
issue.
sure,
Okay,
but
if your wife has a coke issue, right, has an issue with cocaine, why would you leave her alone to watch your 3-year-olds
no,
with
I'm saying I
music
said
speaker?
when I first met her, and she only did it
Okay.
once. And I actually have text messages in California where I found out she did it, and I was extremely angry. And I wasn't like, like the abusive as you alleged. And actually, her response is notable. I was just like, no, I consider you doing drugs like cheating, is what I ended
So,
up saying.
quick
And
question. She
she ended
did
up saying she would wanted to shoot herself because I was upset.
she did cocaine one time in Massachusetts that you
No,
know
in
of?
California that I know of.
One time? And
That
you,
I
I
know
mean,
of.
look, I do not condone cocaine use, and I've actually personally never tried it, only because I was told that I would love it and I like it too much. But would you consider a one-time use a serious coke problem?
No, no, no. But I was saying she. Though actually, the thing I was upset about that time is she didn't tell me about it and I found out from somebody else talking about it.
So you were mad she didn't share.
No, no. Well, that she did it at all. That she didn't call me, and then she also. It was while she was trimming. It was while she was on a farm with a bunch of like there was Mexicans and stuff. I don't know. I mean, like.
So you're worried about her doing cocaine around Hispanic people?
You're gonna have to read the book to understand.
Okay. When does your book come out?
Probably right around the new year.
Okay. So so you drop her off in Massachusetts, right, in a bad area, and,
Not the worst, not like Holyoke or anything,
and
but
then what happens?
well, so okay. So I end up coming to visit for Christmas, and I fly in, and it was actually an event to leave to. I had two rental cars at the time. One that was snowed in on a mountain, one at the airport, and then and I was only in for like a week, and we were looking at buying a house up in Maine, so I drove up to Maine on like the first day I was back, and I get back, and then so the event, like 36 hours beforehand, me and her went out to dinner, and the only one home was our dog, and our dog was an 80-pound puppy, mastiff, and there was when we
What was
got
its
back,
name?
Luna.
Luna.
And when we got back, there was a big metal cabinet that was down on the ground, and there was
Mm-hmm.
glass broken initially. And I believe there was treats on top of it. And the cabinet had only been there about a week, but
Wait, when you both first got home,
there was a big metal cabinet on the ground. Yeah. And the only one home was our dog.
I'm confused because what she is saying is that you had an altercation and then you injured the dog, like it, and then broke the cabinet.
All right. So let's get into that. Well, then broke the cabinet. So there was a big metal cabinet. That
Okay.
when we said I couldn't have broke a metal cabinet. It was big and
Well,
heavy.
then what could have?
No, I'm saying the dog knocked it over. It was only put up on an unbalanced. It wasn't put in a very safe spot, and it obviously because it fell over, and so it was, and it was only there for like a week. So she put it there, or somebody put it there, and it just wasn't a good spot. And I assumed dog treats were on top or whatnot, and our dog must have went for it and knocked it over.
But
And the
but
reason
this doesn't
why, okay,
address this does
now
not address her claim of
now let me get to that. So
okay.
then, so that was 36 hours before. In the in between day, I took our dog out for walks, and she was like limping, and I actually carried her in, and actually all our neighbors seen it too. That's besides the point. But then on the uh, sorry, I got distracted. Um,
It happens to me too. So
on
you
the
were
day,
walking the dog
yeah,
in
okay, no, no, no.
between
So
days,
then,
your neighbor saw it, it was limping.
yes, so then on the day of my I woke up in the morning, and my ex, she started getting, she was manic real quick. She got angry over something. I'll describe it in the book in detail, but I was just like, I'm done with it. She fought the day before too, where I was like out in the cold for over an hour while she was screaming, and or like she was just unwilling to calm down. And so I told her, I'm like, I'm over this. I'm like, it's done is done. And I actually have text messages proving that I was the one that broke up with her, too, by the way. But either way, so then on the day of, she was blocking me from leaving. And I was trying to leave over and over again. And
And
at
you
some
can send me anything you want, and then I'll go ahead and put it on the screen. So, like, if you want
uh,
to send me those text messages that you just mentioned, anything you want for evidence, I could put up on the screen.
okay, well, hold on. Let's get through it real quick. So, um, so on that day, so then our heads end up meeting, and which may or may not have caused the black eye. I do not know. And the reason why, and then, um, so here's the interesting part. So I end up leaving there at 9:30 in the morning, and then at yeah, I'll have you do that later. I actually have a video with all the evidence, which I can end up putting up after. You can put
I
a link
mean,
to it.
actually, we have two producers in the background, and one of them is going to put up the if we could have the dog stuff on the background whenever you get the chance to it. So yeah, so this is the veterinarian.
All right. Well, hold on. Let me actually real quick on the story where I'll tell you why this
Okay.
is irrelevant. So on that morning, I ended up leaving at 9:30 a.m. and she ended up we texted back and forth for hours, and then it wasn't until 12:30, 1 o'clock that she ended up calling and saying, "Hey, Luna is not walking." And then I ended up cruising over, and then she took the car that I drove to the vet while I watched Luna, which while I watched Lila, our daughter. And then and then she comes back. Well, anyways, and then when she comes back, she was pretending like she didn't know anything about the police. And then at 5 o'clock is when I ended up finding out that she was accusing me of this. And so the idea is that she ended up telling the cops that our dog was limping right when she came back in. Supposedly I headbutt her and beat the dog or whatever. But that does not make sense,
Mm-hmm.
because for 3.5 hours she was texting me. She even said I was the nicest guy in the world. Now, why would she
Yeah,
be?
but that's a sign. Like that's a really common sign in abusive. Not saying that you are, but I'm just saying it's a common sign in abusive relationships for men to be abusive and then to do this what they call like a love phase, and then they like try to woo the person back, so they like overshower them in love, and then once they get
No,
the person back,
she's
then they
like,
become abusive
I
again.
end up
So it's like a
saying,
cyclical
I end up
thing,
going, there's no reason to be afraid of me. And she goes, I'm not afraid
right?
of you. And she told the DCF lady that the reason why she did not contact the police is because A, she was not afraid of me, and B, because she was most worried about getting help for the dog, which doesn't make sense because we were talking for 3.5 hours.
Mm.
So she, before she said anything about the dog. So that story just does not make sense. And then the other thing is she lied to the police and DCF about the cabinet. And then she only started telling the truth about the cabinet because I ended up showing a picture of it. So that's the other thing. Why lie about the cabinet if she didn't do it? If she was innocent, if she wasn't trying to frame me, why would she lie about the big metal cabinet? Which, of course, at this deposition in April 15th, she ended up admitting the cabinet existed because she knows I have a picture of it. And that's why she pled the fifth. And that's the other thing about your Turtle Boy story
Well,
is at the day of.
hold up. The reason that people are saying that she pled the fifth, and I'm going to give you a chance because I want to give you a chance to explain yourself. People are saying that because she was involved in the cannabis industry, and she could potentially be in trouble because cannabis was not as legalized at the time, and she could potentially face felonies, that you were threatening her saying, hey, if you testify, then I will call DCF and the police and make sure that you won't be able to continue to have
And,
custody over our daughter. And
and
so
this is
she's
how
saying
insane that is. See, the
okay.
thing is on that day, she ended up putting on Facebook, she said that she was
So
excited to
excited.
testify.
Yeah.
And then on the day of, so she shows up, and then a Fifth Amendment attorney who had seen everything that the DA had seen, because it's all evidence in there, ended up showing her what the ADA had seen and said, you should plead the fifth because it showed that I was innocent. Why
How do
would
you
I
know
have?
that?
Well, how does it make sense that I gave the ADA evidence that suggested that I was a drug dealer? Does that make
No,
sense?
it would make sense that you would privately message her the day of trial, which is
That
what's
sounds
being
even
alleged.
crazier. That's what the
Where
obvious
hold
witness
on,
intimidation.
exactly, which is what's being alleged.
By
Whereas
who?
it makes less sense for you to know the
Who's
contents
alleging
of it.
this?
Hold on, it makes less sense for you to know the contents of a conversation between her and her lawyer because those conversations are privileged.
I did not talk to her. It doesn't even make sense. There was if there was evidence that I talked to her on the day of trial, I'm sure they would have used that. But no, she tested. You can see the evidence later. I'll post the video. And it's just the thing is her story didn't make sense. It did not make sense that for 3.5 hours our dog was laying there hurt and she was busy talking to me, discussing about all
Well,
sorts of other things.
let's pull up the report again, because you're saying that you're going to talk about why the report is not necessary to even look at.
Yeah, okay, fine. Go ahead. Show me. Show me what you think is so relevant.
But the report is saying that from my understanding, that the drawer could not have caused the
Where?
injury. Okay.
I guarantee it doesn't say
I have
that.
to bring my face so close to camera to read this. 10-month summary of, let's scroll down. It's not on that page, so we need to go to the pages in which the highlighted material is on.
Yeah, I'm looking for stuff.
Okay, Waters stated that he was trying to leave and did not mean to hurt Cardin, and stated, I know I fucked up. What does that mean?
Yeah,
What's
that
that?
was man, he's gonna get something off that. No, he twisted my words when he showed up to the door when that and I asked what the charges were, and he said what the charges were, and then I go, oh, that's fucked up. And then he said something else, and he twisted my words again, and I pointed that out, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. I plead I think I said I want a lawyer, and didn't say anything after that. But it was just like, yeah, so I only said like 10 words, and he twisted the few words I said. Which
Okay.
he also actually he lied about my bail. He said that it was only 2,500. He said it was 25,000, and that's because I had 2,300 on me. He stole 300 too. There was I had 2 grand in hundreds in one pocket,
Okay,
and then
what
I
about the
had
bruise
300.
on your girlfriend's face? So hold on.
It's possible.
Hold on. The police show, this is what was seen. So the police show up to your house. They find your girlfriend with a bruise on her face, and they find the dog dead. And the veterinarian is saying, can you please look for the quote by the vet where it says that it was done by like a strong.
I believe she said blunt force is what she said. But the thing is how do you know that's not a cabinet? I mean, it's just like, it's insane to even think that it was me, especially
What
when all the
kind of
other evidence
cabinet?
suggests
Can
it's
you
not.
explain this? Do you have a picture of this cabinet?
A piece of it.
And like,
It's
so
got
if a
her.
cabinet fell on the dog, instantly breaking its back, wouldn't the dog be found under the cabinet?
It's got a picture of Sam's. I don't know. I'm not sure I should pop this up right now. I'll end up popping up an edited photo later of it. Um, yeah, I do have a picture of the cabinet. But it's got a picture of Sam's butt in it, so I gotta edit it.
Hold on. Okay. Based on the information of this mixed breed suffered blunt force trauma, which caused
Yeah.
the pararetinal bleeding into the abdomen, and the traumatic hemiation. I think that's like the interbradal disc, not consistent with natural disease or with an accidental fall.
Yeah, the dog didn't fall. A cabinet fell on her.
And
Um,
but you weren't there when the police arrived, right?
Correct. I had left like 15 minutes earlier. And she brought the dog to the vet in the car that I brought to her.
So
So,
then,
and it wasn't,
if you weren't there, then how do you know that a cabinet fell on it?
that was 36 hours beforehand. And so on the day of,
But you left
I
the
left at
dead dog
8:30. I left at
in
either
your
8:30
house
or
for 36
what?
hours.
No, my goodness. No, she was 36 hours before we went out to dinner. When
Mm-hmm.
we came back, there was a cabinet on the ground. The next day, it was freezing outside. We brought our dog outside because it was like New Year's Eve, or I brought her out for walks, and twice she started like limping in the in between day. And I ended up carrying her back in, and we like looked for splinters. We didn't know what was wrong, but
Oh, so
it
you're
was
saying the cabinet fell on her 36 hours before she died?
correct. And it was actually the vet put her down. The vet actually, because she was in back pain.
Sorry, I'm just grabbing a charger here. Um. Okay.
So, and
What?
it is, if you
Okay.
look up spinal injuries, it does that. They can progress like that, where like once it starts, it can take a while for it to settle in and for the injury to like progress and get
And you
worse.
never found the dog under the cabinet, though. You just found a
Correct.
turned over cabinet, and then you found that your dog was later limping. So you connected the two.
That was what made sense. Yeah. And actually, we discussed it. Actually, we even discussed it in the jail phone calls. We discussed the cabinet being ground on the ground, which that was the other thing is she lied about the cabinet existing, and that's why she couldn't testify. Is because she lied about the cabinet existing. She said that my story was not true because there was no cabinet, but in the jail phone calls, we specifically talked about the cabinet on the ground. So that was why her story just made no sense at all. It was just like
Okay.
obvious that she was trying to frame me.
Well, I think you really got to say your piece right now, and she has said her piece, and I think people will be able to look at both sides and at least come to the conclusion that they agree with now, because I don't think your side was stated before.
I appreciate that. And I'm gonna post a link. I don't know why I've been maybe self-conscious about publishing the video or whatnot, or maybe I just don't want her harassed. But I'll publish the link with all the evidence, probably tomorrow, I guess. And I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Well, speaking of like, you know, evidence and stuff. uh, Okay, first of all, how many court cases have you been in?
With Turtle Boy,
No, just in
civil,
general. How many total court cases have you been involved in?
civil and criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, I 6 or 7, I guess.
How many criminal?
You're saying with Turtle Boy.
No, how many criminal? Now, it's because you said civil or criminal. So now I'm curious how many criminal.
Oh, I was thinking with Turtle Boy. I mean, most of them I'm the plaintiff. But
Oh,
criminal
okay.
for me, I mean, man, I had barely had anything. I mean, it was just the 9 pounds, and
So you have had zero criminal complaints against you.
well, I got in trouble with 9 pounds when I was a teenager.
Oh, you got caught with weed when you were a teenager.
Yeah,
9 pounds is a lot
yeah, it was a mistake, but
for a teenager, especially. So, um, okay, and yeah. So, how many court cases have you been involved in with Turtle Boy?
well, that was most of those. It was 2 civil cases, and one in the federal court and one in the state court.
But you've
And
like appealed them to their utmost on both cases.
yeah, if you count those, then it's still going. And one's still very active. The main one, the first one, is very active. I actually just filed a proposed appellate brief that was short and sweet. And he's actually basically defaulted on it,
Mm,
where he never put in any opposition in the
reply.
lower court. So because he never put in any opposition, and the other thing is, so the initial appellate court, they ended up siding with me, saying that the criminal allegations are defamatory per se, and so they overturned on the that I sold drugs in California.
But didn't
Uh,
you just tell me that you were caught with 9 pounds of marijuana?
oh, that was when I was a teenager. I worked
But
really
you
hard to
still did
rebuild my
that,
reputation
right? But then how is it defamatory if it's true?
because I worked. No, it was true when I was 19, but I worked really hard to rebuild my reputation.
I understand, but like defamatory means a lie, right?
Yes,
And so if
yes.
he knew that you did it,
No, I
then is
didn't.
he
I never
lying?
sold. I could take a polygraph that I never bought, sold, or used drugs in California.
So let me get this straight. Well, first of all, you had to have purchased the 9 pounds unless you have a really
No, that
sweet
was in New
sugar
York when
daddy.
I was a teenager. That was when I was a little boy in New York.
Okay, so because he got the location wrong, that's your issue. That's what makes it
It
defamatory.
has more to do with the time. Um, just beyond the fact that I was a teenager, and I worked really hard to work an honest, clean life. And in my industry, if somebody were to find out that I was, selling drugs, they wouldn't want to buy extraction equipment from me. They would rather buy extraction equipment from a non-drug dealer. So
Do
that's
you
where it's
still
just
sell extraction equipment?
I did when he wrote the article, but I have not since. No.
Okay. I'm getting a plug. Welcome to my new apartment, by the way.
It's beautiful.
Um, yeah. So where are you living now?
Currently in Massachusetts, but I'll be headed to California soon.
Oh, when's that? I thought you were already supposed to be in California.
Yeah, court cases are taking a while, and
Wait, are you moving to California because you're no longer filing any more court cases?
at least in Massachusetts, I'm probably not filing anymore as myself.
How are you
Um,
going to file them then?
oh, with an attorney in California, only one more, and the last one, and that's actually the beauty of it is the state case. It's a win-win situation. Um, Turtle Boy's November 19th conspiracy, where he tried to frame me for threatening his kids. That conspiracy, there was two co-conspirators that are able to testify, and there was the confidant that Shannon, that he ended up admitting stuff to, and then kept.
Wait, who's Shannon?
Wait, what?
Who's Shannon?
Shannon LeBerry. She was one of the people that got me evidence about the Turtle Boys conspiracy. Um,
What evidence did she give you?
from the group chat where and it's convenient. Turtle Boys even admitted this group chat even in court. He had a group chat with the Laura girl, who actually some powerful people told me is a Russian, but that's besides the point. Or Russian, not.
Oh, no. She's from
Yeah,
Russia?
That's what some
Well,
powerful
as
people
soon as
said.
they invaded Ukraine, I took all of my vodka and dumped it down the sink.
That's
Yeah.
that's
All
that's
my Russian friends stopped talking to them immediately. So it's terrible
hey.
from Russia.
But anyways, you got that Laura girl who supposedly is from England, but who knows? And then you got who's the other two? Oh, the Chrissy, the one that who the messages are from her perspective, and then you got the
Why?
Diane, Chris.
So because Chrissy sent them to somebody, and then you got a picture of them.
Actually, I got the whole screen recordings. They're like you can actually those are on the YouTube. Actually, at the end of the video where he's admitting everything about him is real on my YouTube channel or on my website, actually.
So have you found an attorney who's going to represent you?
Yeah, I've talked to attorneys that said that as soon as there's progress.
How much will it cost you for a defamation lawsuit?
Well, okay, no. So the only the lawsuit that would be left would be, that's what I was getting to, is there's the 42/1985 USC code, and that's when somebody conspires to obstruct a federal case. And we had a federal case going on, and he actually admitted in one of those group chats that the reason why he was doing it was to stop me from filing in lawsuits. So it's actually a pretty clear-cut case.
Doing
when you have
what?
two.
The reason you're doing what?
The reason, okay, so on November 19th, Aiden Kearney of Turtleboy Sports, he created a fake account in my name, and he sent threats directed at his own children, hinting that he would molest them and murder them.
Can I see these? Can I see these messages?
Well, you've seen it on, actually, if you go to my web page, right, share screen, if we go to rianwaters.com on that link you ended up sharing, I think they're all up there pretty easy.
If my producer could pull up Rian Waters' webpage, that'd be really great.
Nick Kearney's threats. Yeah, right there. These ones are the ones he ended up sending. And
so
initially,
I don't think that actually has. So, okay, can you pull up on those a little bit? Can you zoom in on those?
And they originally had my.
He mentions you in those messages.
Oh, he does. And they originally had my screen, my profile picture, and my name, because it was a copy. And I ended up on that night, I got lucky. And that's the only reason why I ended up I got any evidence at all.
Hey, let's not put the pictures of the kids up there. Make sure that the kids don't get in there at all.
Well, that was already. Anyways.
I'm just talking to my producer. Go ahead.
Yeah, so on that night, I ended up getting screenshots of it. And you just disappeared. But I ended up getting screenshots or I noticed it, and my battery ended up dying, so I ran upstairs, like right after I got the screenshots, and then I ended up, as soon as my phone rebooted, I ended up reporting the profile, and Facebook actually took it down really quick. And actually, if you look inside his group chat, he ended up, when he noted that it was, when he ended up realizing that the profile was deleted, he ended up mentioning it in his group chat. He was like, "Oh no, it got deleted." But then, luckily for him, one of his conspirators, Diane Woods Emerson, in the group chat, Chris Gagne, I think, they got screenshots. So they ended up sending the screenshots, and so did Chrissy. And that's actually where, because Chrissy sent the screenshots, she, she can certainly testify that she was a co-conspirator in the whole thing. And
sorry, I disappeared for a second. I was able to hear you the entire time. That's why Chrissy is testifying on your behalf, even though you've never met her.
Yeah, the way I mean, she doesn't the way I mean, you know as a lawyer, you can they always say like whether somebody wants to
Almost.
testify or not. Whether somebody wants to testify or not, they have a duty to testify if you end up subpoenaing them. So it doesn't matter whether she wants to be my lawyer or not.
Oh, so she doesn't want to. So she's doing this because you subpoenaed her, and not because like
She
you
said
spoke
that's
with
the
her
only
before.
way she said she would testify, but that's the only way she would is if I subpoenaed her. And that's the reason
Do
why
you know if
I'm
that'll be good for you? Do you know if she's going to be on your side?
well, what do you mean? Like
Do you think
she
do you think it's possible that she'll help Aiden and hurt you?
I mean, if she did, it would only because she was intimidated, which is hence why I've been fighting so hard to deal with all that.
Interesting.
Um,
Interesting.
well, like June 18th, he ended up saying to her, he said that because she gave me the group chat messages, that he was going to make her want to commit suicide.
Mm.
And I don't see how any court would think that's appropriate for a defendant to say to a witness shortly before a criminal and civil proceedings addressing that misconduct that she gave me evidence for.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to pull up any of this like evidence if you have like, recordings of that or like pictures or text
Yeah, let's
messages.
okay, I got a video. Um 1 second.
Okay, just back to the Aiden thing really quick. Why was your complaint denied by the magistrate?
No explanation.
No explanation.
Literally. Well, they literally the only legal law was they said in Massachusetts, a private party does not have a cognitive interest in somebody else's the state's prosecution of somebody else.
Oh, because you were trying to have him, but so you basically took this to the police. The police didn't want to prosecute. State didn't want to prosecute. Then you try to file a prosecution, and you can't prosecute some citizen.
Well, they're saying that basically they're saying we can deny you and there's nothing you can do about it. So they're basically saying we don't have to give you an excuse because that's the law.
Okay.
Which sounds insane, but that's literally how it went down.
But
And
you were trying to criminally go after him as like some
yes,
civil.
and I ended up first I did a
Wait,
private complaint.
what was what did you file? So you filed against him a criminal complaint?
I actually did a full proposed criminal complaint, and the reason why I did it like that was because the last times they denied it, it came up with frivolous excuses where they ended up saying that the first time he ended up going, "Oh well, I don't think you're intimidated," but the law says you don't have to be intimidated. It just says somebody has to attempt to. It doesn't matter whether it's successful or not.
Now, it has to put a reasonable person in fear.
Yeah, that's a
Wait,
harassment
hold
order.
on. Actually, yeah, for harassment.
But for criminal witness intimidation is a very
for
broad
criminal
statute
Okay,
in
I understand.
Massachusetts.
But I've never heard of a citizen prosecuting. Like, doesn't the district attorney have to prosecute?
Oh, yeah, it would be them. But I'm just, you can file a private complaint though. And actually, a notable case that's worth noting is like, for instance, Paul Muckle. Paul Muckle was he was a pro se litigant, and he ended up sending threats that were nowhere close to as threatening as Turtle Boy's to an opposing counsel, and he ended up in a civil case, and he ended up getting in trouble. It ended up getting reversed for jurisdiction reasons, but that's a notable case where it's just like if the power was on the other foot, certainly like if I said those threats, I would certainly go to jail. If I were to sit there and threaten his witnesses and say, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy you and make you want to commit suicide," yeah, I can't picture them allowing that.
Okay. Here's a question that everybody wants me to ask you. So you filed a suit saying that you wanted damages for the inability to eat oranges?
Yeah. Well, it was GERD, and I was just pointing out that it's just like it was even going to limit my ability to eat my favorite food. I don't know. I mean, it sucks. Uh,
Why weren't you able to eat your favorite food?
well, I could eat some of it, but just not as much. GERD. There was the lack of sleep from the constant threats cause there's adjustment disorder, which adjustment disorder, all it really is it's just if it makes it so that threats and other the stressful situations can cause sleep disturbances and preoccupation where it's hard to focus on important tasks, things that you normally would focus on.
Have you conquered your ability to eat the mandarin again?
I can eat more mandarin oranges than when I filed that. Yeah.
Oh wow, congrats. Do you have a mandarin orange on you right now?
I do not.
You
I do
don't.
not.
Why not?
Um, I'm sorry. I just do not.
That's really unfortunate. I was hoping we could eat a mandarin orange together.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have been prepared. Why is this not? I think maybe it's this one. Oh yeah, it's this one. Okay, I think I have something. Video file. Um, yeah, and these are just the threats that just really, and we don't have to go through all of them, but even just the first minute or two.
Yeah, you can share your screen, or do you need to send them to me and I could send them to
I
somebody?
think I just put it in
If you put it
your.
in the private chat, that works as well.
Um, why doesn't it? I mean, it's in there. I think you might be able to see it. I don't know. I uploaded it. Um, let's see. Was there another question? Sorry.
Well, I think it's a good time for us to go down and look at the chats and see if they have any questions.
Okay.
I think we got to most of the ones, and so it looks like you're not going to be the main question that I got was, are you going to be continuing to file against Turtleboy? And it sounds like you're moving to
Oh,
California. So
actually, hold on. Actually, so
sure.
that's the update on the current case.
Ah,
So currently, there is still two cases in Massachusetts, both in the Supreme Judicial Court, and I just moved to consolidate them. And the one is the appeal of the lower court case. Now, when that judge dismissed it, he said that the case is off its axis, but he didn't provide any fact or law behind his decision. And Turtle Boy never argued anything.
hmm.
So therefore, in the appellate court, it looks really bad on Turtle Boy, where it's just like I ended up like I actually the defamation. The appellate court had already reversed as far as that criminal allegations are defamatory per se. He still didn't present any evidence at all that I sold drugs in California, and I ended up. So I note that.
But you did sell, okay, criminal, right? Saying that you're a criminal when you haven't been a criminal is defamatory per se. But
Yes,
saying that you did a crime in California when you actually did the crime in Massachusetts,
when I was a teenager. That's the part
I
that
don't
you're.
think that matters because
Yeah.
it's
Well, he
about the
didn't even
truth
argue
of
that.
the pardon.
He didn't even argue that. I mean, if it is a good defense, he should have presented it.
Um, I suppose, but the judge is also allowed to look at all of the evidence that is presented and determine whether or not it has reached the standard
I
of
agree, but if they come
evidence.
up with extrajudicial evidence, they should inform me sua sponte.
Not
And
extra
it,
evidence, but I'm just talking about when they reach a conclusion. You're saying that the judge didn't inform you about how
any
he.
factor law on none.
I mean, do you have that case handy to pull up?
Um, the entire record appendix, it'd be big. Well, the last time I tried to send something, it didn't go through.
Well, you could try any other means. We've been talking via Discord.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Laptop right here.
Wait, are you saying the appeal? You know, that's actually a good point. Is on my website, the Rian Waters and Another, which has a link to it.
Do you feel like people after tonight believe you over Sam?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think
Are you
I'll
going to
present.
continue to sue Sam?
No, God no.
Are you
I
going to
feel
try to keep her custody for your daughter?
you know, that's a touchy thing. I'm gonna have to figure it out once Turtle Boy's over. That's the thing. Is actually I'm in a win-win situation with him, because the thing is that the with this case, like, he ended up accusing me of criminal allegations, and he's presented zero evidence that, you know, I'm guilty of it. And there's a whole lot of specific facts that indicating that he's done some pretty heinous things. And the thing is that these
Would
judges,
you talk to him live?
you want to bring him on. Well, see, the thing
No,
is,
no. I'm asking him. Would you ever have a live with him?
we've talked.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Do you want my producer to play the video that you sent?
Which one?
You sent a video in the chat.
Oh, yeah, we could play the beginning of that. Yeah, the first minute or two.
Yeah, do you mind playing that? Thank you, Henry.
You could send them too.
What were you thinking, girl? Like, you could have gone on to this. And then you fucked with me? Me! Not that I'm like some internet badass, but like, it's kind of what I do, is revenge. It's my specialty. You knew that better than anyone. You've seen the people. You've seen what I've done for years. You follow the blog. What's your excuse? It still blows my mind. What were you thinking? You're losing everyone.
Hold on, stop.
Because that's what I do to people, Chris.
Okay. Saying that you're going to get revenge on someone isn't illegal.
See, the thing is, it's she's a witness, and that's where it ends up being the issue. And he ends up saying, you know better than anyone, which ends up showing that he's aware, you know, that she has. And revenge, what do you mean? If you punish somebody because of their participation in a court case, that most certainly is witness intimidation. And his only excuse that he ended up saying is, he said, well, I have a discernible purpose, which is kind of what you just said.
How is Chrissy a witness? Like, you guys have never spoken, right? So
True.
So what is she witnessing?
She gave me the group chat messages, and the thing is it ends up, the witness intimidation statute says witness or potential witness, and the case law says that those words are used interchangeably. And
so she provided you evidence?
Yes, there's evidence that's been from her perspective, and
but
he's admitted that.
How has she provided you evidence without you guys speaking?
Between Kate Peters and Shannon LeBerry.
So wait, hold on. So only Kate messaged you?
Yeah, and I suppose
wait,
Shannon...
no, but you said that Chrissy told you that the only way that she would testify is if she was subpoenaed. But how could she tell you that if you've never spoken?
It was through Kate, and I told you Kate contacted me the first time. Well, that time I contacted her.
What do you mean through Kate? So Kate said, like, oh, Chrissy said she'll only
basically, yeah.
So the only one you've spoken to is Kate? So you don't even know.
Well, see, the thing is Turtle Boy has admitted himself.
How do you know any of this
he testified.
Not doctored. How do you know this evidence isn't doctored?
Because Turtle Boy's admitted to it, and that's the thing. Is he's ended up he's testified to a court in Milford in the criminal complaint. I noted, and he actually said that Chrissy worked for him for years, and he ends up talking about the group chat, and he gave that court like 30-something text messages or something from that group chat or screenshots to prove that Chrissy used his blog to intimidate a witness in a different case. So,
Yeah, but she's being charged for that. No,
okay,
She got charged for wiretapping. Is that what you're
correct.
talking about?
It's in that case, yes.
Okay.
And so it's in that case that he presented a bunch of screenshots from the blog dad group chat. And he's admitted online that the reason why he was upset was because she shared the messages that were in the January 9th blog from Kate Peter. And that blog featured the same screenshots that are my Exhibit A in my the thing. So that's where he ends up admitting that the reason why he's punishing her is because of those screenshots, which indicate that he framed me for threatening his kid.
Okay. So, but she hasn't, has she been put on a witness list?
She has been listed as a witness, yes. And Turtle Boy has even posted a screenshot where he goes, Chrissy is a witness to dog beating Rian Waters. Please, give her business, tell her business what you think of that on Facebook. And he gave a link to her business. And he had a screenshot, a picture of the my motion, which listed her as a witness.
Okay.
So even if she wasn't a witness, he still
and
knew that she was a potential witness. So
and you
that was
provided all this to the magistrate, and the magistrate determined that this was not sufficient.
without any explanation at all.
Well,
And that's the problem, is if he had an intelligible reason, it would end there. If the magistrate were to say, well, I think that this law says that, people that run blogs are allowed to threaten witnesses, then fine. If there's a law that says that, then great. But the thing is, he didn't.
so you're gonna appeal this?
Yeah,
And
that,
is
but
that
the only
why you're
reason why,
staying is that why you're delaying your move to California in
partly
order to?
yes, is just to deal with this, finish this stuff up. But the
This is really interfering with your life. Like, this is
majorly,
interfering.
majorly. But see, so that's the thing, is it's a win-win situation, because the thing is the Constitution in Massachusetts and in California is the Article 1 here. I forget, it's still number 1 there, but they call it something else. Either way, it when the government sucks at life and fails at protecting your safety, prosperity, and happiness, you have a right to take whatever measures necessary to defend your life and liberty. And so when I run out of options in the court, once I exhaust all reasonable options, I have that right. And whether
What
Turtle
does
Boy
that mean?
likes it,
Does that mean that you get to act outside of the law?
yeah. And I think I'm excited to use it, at least in a civil sense. To I believe yeah, I'll say it right now here. Because the Mark Zuckerberg, if I feel like writing something that heinous about Mark Zuckerberg, I believe that my Article 1 right, especially considering his involvement with damaging my safety, prosperity, and happiness, that if I were to write heinous allegation to get attention and bring awareness to the situation, I believe that I would have an affirmative defense to any civil litigation. And he would just, yeah.
So you're saying you're going. Okay, so how are you going to retaliate? You're going to retaliate essentially illegally and then use affirmative defense.
No, well, illegal is the wrong word, because see, it's a constitutional activity. So therefore, it's not illegal if it's constitutional.
So wait, are you saying that there's somewhere in the Constitution it says if the courts don't agree with you and you've exercised your last court appeal, that you have a right to
No, if
say
they
F the laws of my state and do what you
okay.
want, and then use that as an affirmative defense, and if you get sued?
Well, that's an
by
interesting way of construing it, but no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
If you look at the preamble of the mass, which the preamble doesn't hold weight on its own, it needs to rely on Article 1. But the preamble ends up saying that the whole preamble just explains the mindset or the purpose, what they were thinking when they were drafting the Constitution. or all the rights are supposed to be
Do
considered
you
in
know
light
the preamble
of the Massachusetts Constitution.
of the Massachusetts Constitution? Not you're
Yes,
not
that's
talking
what I'm
about the
talking about.
United States Constitution.
Correct. I'm talking about the Massachusetts one and the
Okay.
California one, but right now I'm talking about the Massachusetts one, and it ends up the preamble says it's pretty specific on saying that the point of the government is to protect the safety and prosperity and happiness of the people. And it says that when the government fails, I forget the exact words, but the people have the right to take necessary measures, or measures necessary for their safety. And then Article 1 says you have the right to defending your life and liberty, that all people. So the thing is like if the courts, I have not had a fair opportunity to present evidence, and the reason that has been preventing me from presenting my case for against all my disputes.
Why do you think you haven't been treated fairly?
I think at this point it comes down to two factors. A moralistic fallacy, where to admit that past judges were screwed up ends up admitting that, there's a big problem in the justice system. And so they just don't want to, it's easier to say that can't be true than to look at my evidence. And then the other part is sunk costs, which is again where they've already, tried to screw me so many times that now it's like it's just easier to continue that path than it is to.
If you felt like you were being railroaded, why wouldn't you hire an attorney sooner?
I actually think I just did an amazing brief. I think that, and like I said, it's a win-win situation.
Do you
That's the
feel
other thing.
particularly legally knowledgeable?
At this point, sadly, yes.
Do you think you're better than the average attorney?
In some unique, interesting areas of law, yeah. I mean, when it comes, but not in every part of law, or certainly not. I mean, when it comes to, what I mean on that is inherent power. I actually know a little bit more about inherent power, and maybe I know more about appellate practice than your average attorney. Your average attorney doesn't like to deal with appellate courts.
Do you identify as a sovereign or a sovereign citizen?
Heck no.
No.
Okay. Oh, but that's my other. Okay, that's the other thing on.
Do you want to have Aiden on?
Well, hold on. Nah, probably not the second, but maybe in a bit.
Okay, in a little bit we'll have him on.
As far as I was about to say the necessary measures thing. The thing is like he ends up he gets access to police officers' computers all the time. He brags about it on multiple occasions.
Who?
And Aiden Kearney, yeah. And
like
he
hacking them?
No, like he
like
says cops just send it to him.
Give him privileged information.
Correct. One
like
example.
Journalists everywhere.
No, like
yeah, like New York Post, Washington Times.
I mean, I'm sure there's been the confidential informants from time to time, but yeah, it's well. Here's the thing. No, not like that. Like he ends up getting people's license from their license plate number. He finds out where people live, and he does that all the time. Where he looks up their names and stuff.
Well, that's really common. Like private investigators do that, and like people.
But you're excusing it, and that's not the point. The point is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's acceptable or not. The point is with him threatening me, it ends up making it where I don't want to get a driver's license, or I can't get a driver's license without the fear of him attacking that address.
So you don't have a driver's license?
Because of him, yes. Because the last 2 times that I had an address that I used in court that he found out about, he ended up harassing the people that lived there.
Have you ever had a driver's license?
Yes, of course. I drove from 16 years old until I was 32. I just lost it this last year when I was 33.
How did you lose it?
Because it expired, and I didn't want to update an address because I didn't want to give him a new address. So that's my thing, is if the only way for me to get a driver's license is for something crazy to happen, whatever, that's what's going to have to happen. If the only way for me to present evidence fairly is for something crazy to happen, then whatever, that's what's going to happen.
Can you put a P.O. box for your address for the DMV? Will they allow you?
No, it doesn't work. No.
I bet you they do, because homeless people are allowed to drive.
I don't know. I haven't seen an option.
Yeah, there's like literally people who live out of their vans, and I would imagine they have driver's licenses. It's
Well, they probably use their mom's address or something. I don't know. They want a
okay.
physical address.
I say that we allow Aiden up. Do you have any opposition to that?
I guess go
Here all
ahead.
night. What?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So he'll come up when he comes up, and we'll just keep chatting until then. And he may not come
Well,
up.
okay, so let's talk about the allegations against him, real quick. So he ends up he ended up leaving school being a teacher because he was inappropriate with a child, right?
Did you watch my interview with Aiden?
No, not the whole thing.
Yeah, so we go over all of that. Yeah, so that's actually not true.
Really?
Yeah, so he went to a Buffalo Bills game.
So he's got his story, but she's got her story.
No, that's actually like it's been verified, not true. And
well, what about my story? I said my story tonight, and so you just automatic, like that's in the past.
But I say, like, I gave both of you the opportunity to tell your stories, and then and he's also written a book and that I read before interviewing him, and it provides a lot of the evidence. So, like, for instance, the allegation you just mentioned, he was accused of making like this gesture towards a 14-year-old at a Buffalo's Bills game by somebody who was later sued by multiple organizations for defamation, repeated defamation, and he ended up losing his ability to even have his channel, and that entire channel was taken down, including all of the allegations against Aiden, which were
whatever. That's only fact number one. Then fact number two is the which maybe he explained that too, is he ended up sending naked pictures of his kid, which I know they weren't.
We did explain all of that in my interview. I really recommend that you get the
but it's still, and then and I do too. But let's see, number three is let's see, well, he shames people that talk about sex trafficking all the time. If somebody he calls them pumpkin spice mafia, if people that make alerts to it. And
let's be real about, so like, those women are not complaining about sex trafficking. Those women are walking into random grocery stores and accusing Hispanic men of trying to abduct their children.
I mean, there's been a lot of different stories, but there's some of them certainly have been saying sex trafficking. And he's come up with his narrative is that sex trafficking doesn't exist in New England, that it exists down in Houston, but that it's not really up here, and people don't have to worry about it up here. And it's ridiculous to think that it's a problem up here. And that's what he said.
I just don't think that there's a problem with child snatching from Sprouts and Whole Foods is all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying child trafficking doesn't happen. It's sure as heck happening at our southern border. It's sure as heck happening when dealing with the cartels. It's sure as heck happening when dealing
I think it's propaganda against the cartel.
But it's not sure as heck happening when trying to check out.
I think that's defamatory. Saying that the cartels do pedophilia. I think that's propaganda. Yeah.
What? How is that? You know that over 1/3 of the women who come up from our southern border say that they have recently survived sexual assault and rape.
Okay, but how do you know that those are cartel that are doing that? Like,
because
what does the
they
cartel
have
care about that?
Because the cartel is extremely organized, and
I have never met a cartel member who said they were a cartel member.
Okay, good.
It's just never happened.
But there are plenty of videos of cartel members admitting to being cartel members, and there are.
Or maybe, well, sir, but why not say? Okay, so but you're saying the child abduction or whatever. See, the thing is, maybe somebody would say they're cartel just to instill fear.
So let me get this straight. You believe that the southern border, that's propaganda, and the women there aren't being raped. But
no, I didn't say that.
But
I didn't say that.
Women who bring their children to the Martha Vineyards Whole Foods need to keep a close eye on their kids in case a Hispanic man walks by because he's going to snatch them.
Hold on. Whoa. We just had some strange jumps.
I don't think so. That's basic. That is what I am hearing, but I'll let you.
No. What I'm saying is, see, the cartel, they make so much freaking money from weed and coke and stuff that there's no point to doing what the other stuff. And the thing is like, and maybe there's some areas where, like, the way the cartel works in Mexico is it's so loose, where there's just like multiple different plazas, as they call, that all work under one umbrella. But so if there may be one plaza somewhere who somebody involved in it does one thing, that's one thing. But the thing is, police across the country get in trouble with pedophilia all the time. And so just because one cop gets in trouble with pedophilia doesn't mean that all cops are pedophiles. So just because one cartel member may have gotten in trouble with something at one point does not mean that the cartel is a pedophile organization.
1 out of 3 women who pass our southern border without
so maybe people exploit
seeking asylum are being raped on the way up.
And so people exploit the criminal area. I mean, the area I lived in, I lived in an area where the cartel was very heavy. Trinity County, Shasta County, Tehama County.
Why are you arguing this? Why are you arguing on defense of the cartel being non-rapist right now?
Why? Well, because I just happen to have like a lot of information. I don't know. I happen to know.
So you believe from your lots of information that the cartel is just not that bad. They're not the type to rape. They're just not the rapey type.
No, I'm not. Well, actually, leaders certainly not. Yeah, no. At least not that I mean, not in California. At least not that I met.
So you have met cartel members?
I think so. I don't know for certain.
How do you know they didn't rape?
Every time I seen this guy, he was recommending that I go to his church. And
have you heard of the whole like Catholic priest little boy thing? So I
yeah,
don't know
they don't get married
a lot means that you've never raped.
But that's a problem with Catholics because they don't get married.
Turtle Boy is here, so we can have him up whenever you're ready. You want to finish your statement, so go ahead. Just finish.
Oh well, no. Well, okay. So I guess that was just on no, I'll end that. That's fine.
Okay, let's have him up.
Oh, hello.
Hi, producer number 2. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. You look lovely tonight in your turtle shirt.
Oh, thank you. So, good interview. Interesting stuff happening here. I found a lot of things illuminating tonight. For instance, that Ryan said some pretty interesting things about Michael Gaffney tonight, kind of crapping on him. I thought that was interesting. Also, that he's been in direct communication with Shannon LeBerry and Kay Peter, both of whom reached out to him. So keep in mind, Ryan has been arrested for domestic violence and killing a dog. And Kate Peter, a champion for women, reached out to him to assist him. So just want that on the record. Ryan did say that tonight.
Well, he, to be fair, he's saying that he didn't hurt a dog. But what was it that you wanted to say to him?
So when does this end, Ryan? I mean, that's a serious question. Like how many times do I have to beat you in court? We've gotten, I believe, 3 criminal complaints now thrown out that you've tried to file against me. The last one I didn't even show up for on May 26th. I just didn't even show up and I won.
That was impressive.
Yes, it was great. I mean, that's how, bad you are at this. And so on top of that, you've also filed.
Civil. Okay.
Okay. Well, he's not. He's losing a lot, so I don't know whether way to say this.
But he also doesn't have an attorney, which he should get.
No, but he's smarter than the attorneys. We know that.
He said that.
He also can't afford an attorney. So that I have a couple questions, serious questions, Ryan. You can answer these or don't answer them. Number one, like, you don't have to tell me an address or anything because I'm not trying to like threaten you or anything. But like, where do you live? Do you live in a tent? Like, what do you do for shelter?
No,
so
well, Currently, I'm living in Massachusetts, but I
That
have
sums it up.
I
Yeah,
have
then-
an amazing network of friends where I have guest bedrooms all over the country that I can stay whenever.
Are you
So
living
you-
in a house or an apartment right now?
It's a house.
So you're staying at a friend's house. You just live at a friend's house?
Yeah, I got a bedroom. Yeah,
Okay. And do you pay rent or anything?
I haven't been.
So you mooch, you couch surf, you mooch,
Well, it's just been while I've been fighting the cases with you.
which has been going on for 4.5 years. So you haven't paid rent in
Intense.
4.5
It's
years.
been taking a while.
So you haven't
Last
paid
3 years,
rent.
basically.
So you haven't paid rent for 3 years.
Well, I mean, maybe at points. I don't know. I lived in Florida for a while.
And this mystery friend you're staying with just allows that to happen. They just let you sleep in a bed in the house for free for years.
Yeah,
Well,
I
hold
mean,
on, Aiden. Now that you're here,
Mhm.
I do want to ask you about the allegation that he's saying with the witness witness intimidation with Chrissy.
Okay, yeah, so he made that allegation. That was what he tried to file the criminal complaint on May 26th for that hearing that I didn't even show up for, and it was denied. So in order
Do you
to
know
have
what the judge said? Do you know
magistrate,
why did the magistrate deny it? Did they give a reason?
they don't have to give a reason. They just say denied or not denied. It's not like
And that's all they did.
yes, it was just denied. And basically, when it's denied, it's because the plaintiff, the complainant, didn't bring evidence of probable cause, which Ryan didn't do. So Ryan's whole evidence is like some group. Basically, he's getting his information from Kate Peter and Shannon LeBerry, and he was led to believe that this is like evidence that mattered in a court of law. He found out the hard way that all of their evidence to a sane person, like a magistrate, just sounds like the ramblings of a lunatic. And so that's why this was ultimately just denied.
Now, hold up. But at this point, that's all
Yep.
irrelevant because the only thing that matters actually is your June 18th threat, where you said that you were going to make her want to commit suicide. Yeah, right after her June 17th hearing.
Yeah.
On June 18th, you told her that you were going to destroy her and make her feel the way you felt when you were in your garage when you wanted to kill yourself.
Yep, I'm going to make her feel like that. Yep. I said that.
So he's arguing that because you said that and you're still saying that and she's still a witness.
She's not a witness. She's not. Well, how is she a witness?
On June 17th or maybe June 11th, you even put a screenshot of my motion declaring her a witness.
I'm aware of that, but she's not a witness because you never spoke to her. How can she be a witness if you've never spoken to her?
That's irrelevant.
No, it's perfectly. It's actually very relevant. It's the definition of relevant.
No, because
yes.
Because the law says potential witness, which a potential witness is anybody who's.
But she's never agreed to be a witness. She's never agreed to be a witness for you ever.
That's impressive witness intimidation. I agree.
So you believe that she would normally help you out, but she's scared of me.
I think.
So, question, Ryan: if she's so scared of me, Ryan, then why did she go to Kate Peter with screenshots of our conversation? If she's so scared of me, answer me that.
Why did she?
Yeah, answer me that.
Well, she told the police she was scared, and it doesn't really matter.
If she's scared, why would she go to Kate Peter with screenshots of our private conversations and allow her to post these things about me? Why would she do that if she's scared of me, Ryan?
She told the police the reason why she did it is because she didn't like you hurting people.
So she's not scared of me. She's not scared to stand up to me, is what you're saying.
No, she just thought standing up to you was more important.
So she's not scared. So you admit she stood up to me. So therefore, she's not scared. She's not scared. She did it.
Okay, but that's still the law says that whether you attempt to intimidate her, and you certainly attempted to, or cause an emotional injury.
Yes, I'm definitely.
Ryan, though, part of witness intimidation is you're supposed to do it for the intent of having them not testify,
or with reckless disregard.
Whereas Aiden simply doesn't like Chrissy because she's a biatch, so he wants her.
You're saying a discernible purpose.
He is saying that he wants her to feel pain because she's awful. It has nothing to do with wanting to prevent her from testifying.
Correct.
He has no issue with her testifying or whatever. But
the witness intimidation statute.
Ryan, the reason I want her to feel emotional pain, Ryan, is not because of anything to do with you. It's because of what she did to me, and I want her to suffer for that. And
Well,
she
that's
is
just a
suffering for.
discernible
I'd like to point
purpose.
out that she is suffering for that because she no longer has custody of her children, and her boyfriend Ray left her.
Okay,
So
what
she's
did she
on the
do to you?
ropes.
Why are you punishing her? What did she do to you?
She violated my trust, Ryan,
By sharing screenshots.
of our private
But it has
conversation.
nothing
That's
to
correct.
do with your
That has
suit.
nothing to do with you. Yeah, like our
Why?
private
The
conversation.
screenshots had everything. And November 19th, there were screenshots of that were in the January 9th blog.
You think I care about any of that stuff, Ryan? I'm talking about the stuff where she's she's posting intimate sexual shit. That's the stuff I care about.
Well, see, no, here's the thing: is discernible purpose is irrelevant. I mean, there's no discernible purpose in the statute.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
you're
The
a real
statute.
expert.
The
Yeah,
statute does
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
say,
Statute,
"Hey,
right.
if you have some other reason to attack somebody, go ahead."
No,
The
it's with the
statute says,
intent. It has to
or
be
with
with the
reckless
intent of
disregard.
To be clear,
Or
Ryan,
with
I
reckless
want Chrissy to be a witness for you. To be perfectly clear, I want her to be, and I don't want to any way intimidate her
And
from helping
she
you.
will be, and
Okay,
she will
okay,
be.
she will
As
be. So you've
soon
talked to her,
as-
so she will be.
Yeah, as soon as you're taken care of one way or another.
But I'm not going to get taken care of, Ryan. You've
Ah.
lost. You've tried. Yeah, I know you've tried this. You've lost a million times.
I'm
You
either
But now he
confident
gets to
or crazy,
circumvent.
and we're certainly
Yes,
going
yes,
to find
you
that
are.
out soon.
We've
Okay.
already found that out, Ryan. But go ahead.
I think
Yeah.
this has been highly confrontational. It's been really nice having you. Do you have any more questions, Aiden? And then we're gonna give it over to the chat.
Oh, he asked when this ends, and
Yeah.
to answer that, I mean, well, for one, we still have an open case in Massachusetts, and so when that case is over, that case is over. And then as far as I'm gonna take care of things one way or another. I mean, I guess California, it will be the end. Will be for a 42-1985.
You're suing me in California. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just
There's
to
no
get.
jurisdiction there, Ryan. You can't
Yeah,
sue
there
me in
is
California.
because with Facebook, 42-1986 with
Ryan,
Facebook.
you lost the Facebook case.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
yeah, you did. You
But
did.
see,
You lost it.
but
So
see,
there is no
November
California case.
19th, we had a federal case going when you did that thing on November
And
19th.
and you've already filed the motions alleging this crazy thing about November 19th. It's been thrown out. So what else you got?
Not in civil court, so there is no.
Okay, yes, it has. It's been thrown out. So what else you got?
Well, that's what it's going to be. That's it. That's it.
That's
It's
Yeah. So
just
what?
gonna be
So when does it end? You haven't
one
answered. When does
claim.
it end? When
one
does it
claim in
end?
California, and one way or another, you're going to get taken care of. I mean,
You haven't answered the. What is that? Is that a threat? One way or another, I'm going to get taken care of.
one way or another, yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean specifically, Ryan? Could you explain
It's
what that
like
means?
What
Nord
is that?
Stream.
That sounds like a
breathing
threat, Ryan. Sounds like a little bit of a threat there.
well,
One way or another, I'm going to get taken
No,
care of.
okay,
What does that mean?
No,
exactly?
what I mean is, okay, so what I'm thinking, what I honestly think is going to
How about I
happen.
file a criminal complaint on you for witness intimidation?
No, hold
for
on,
that?
hold on. Hear me
I
out.
interpret
Hear
that as a
me out.
threat.
Hear me out then. I'm not
Oh,
threatening
totally.
you. I will never harm you.
Well,
I
I
will-
interpret it as a threat. So that's
Well,
what you're
calm
doing with
down,
me. You're
calm down.
interpreting my statements as a
Aiden,
Can
threat.
you listen to
I'm
me,
interpreting
Aiden?
yours.
Can you
Aiden.
listen to me, Aiden?
Oh, yes.
Can you
Go
listen
ahead,
to
Ryan.
me?
Yes, Ryan. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that if Massachusetts doesn't take care of it, I'm going to go out to California and file a 42-1985 lawsuit. Then federal agents in California, the same ones that allowed me to sell extraction equipment and live in a mansion in the middle of a mountain, those same federal agents are going to have jurisdiction. And those federal agents are going to take care of your ass. And then when you get brought out to California, then you're going to be in a prison that is run by awesome people.
Wait, okay, hold
Really?
on. Can I ask a
Yeah.
question?
Oh my God, it's so
Ryan.
scary.
How are you going to get personal jurisdiction over Aiden?
Once I file a federal case in California, federal agents in California will have
No,
jurisdiction.
that didn't answer my question. So, like, do you know what personal jurisdiction is?
Oh, you're saying with that. Yeah, you're saying it's the diversity. Well, and federal, it's a federal question. 42-1985 is a federal
So
question.
you're thinking of how to get it into federal court, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking of civil procedure, and that's great. But what I'm asking is about personal jurisdiction. So what you're saying is that there's like the amount of controversy of $75,000 plus a penny, and that you guys live in 2 different states, and therefore you could be in federal court.
Well, or actually, it's a federal
But
question too. But yeah.
But what I'm asking is, how does California have personal jurisdiction over Aiden? So, like, has Aiden had multiple interactions with California? Has Aiden done something in California
No.
that affects you
Once the
personally?
case is started, and he would have to do another act after. He would have to threaten me in some way, shape, or form. But
Which I'm not
once-
going to do. Why would I threaten you? I've never threatened you in my life.
and or witnesses.
What?
And or witnesses. If you were to
Well,
threaten
I've
the
never
witnesses.
threatened. I've never threatened any of your witnesses, Ryan. You don't have
You
witnesses. I never
did
threatened them.
June 18th. That's my
Yeah,
whole
I said
issue.
I was gonna make. I was gonna.
And that's where it's just like you
What did I
ask when this
say? Like,
ends. When you stop threatening witnesses, that's when it
Ryan,
ends.
you're
When
trying to censor my content about what I say about other people who are
you said
unrelated
on
to
June
you.
18th you're gonna make her want to commit suicide. That's
I didn't say. I did not say I wanted to make her commit suicide. I said I wanted to ruin her life.
You wanted to make her feel like she wanted to commit
Yeah, I
suicide.
wanted to make her feel like shit. Yeah, totally guilty as charged.
That's an
1000%.
emotional injury. That's
So what?
threatening an emotional injury.
So
And
what?
so that's why this is going ongoing. If you want this to stop threatening witnesses.
No, so you're telling me what I can and cannot say on the internet. That's what,
Yeah,
and
you
you
can't
believe.
threaten my witnesses.
I have not threatened her. I said I want to make her feel hurt,
Well, that's my problem.
emotionally hurt. Yeah, like I want
But
to
he
hurt her
doesn't
feelings.
If you
want to make her
I don't-
if you
feel
want this
hurt.
to end, if you want this to
Ryan.
end, apologize to her, take down all those videos.
Apologize
and
to her for what?
Ryan,
for threatening an emotional injury.
Okay, Ryan.
He's
shut
not saying I want to make her hurt because she's testifying or if she testifies or to prevent her from testifying. What he's saying is I had private messages with her. She used
And
those
some of them
private
had
messages
evidence.
which had sexually explicit material in it. She earned my trust over many, many years. And then she took those private messages which she asked for and then spread them out to the public and to people who dislike me. And that's why I want her to feel pain, not because she is a witness listed in your case.
And I get that argument, but see, what I've said is discernible purpose is irrelevant. And if you
why do you say that? Where did you say that?
Because if
I've
you
never
say
heard that. Because if that were the case, Ryan, then every time you have a legal issue between two people, right? And maybe those two people don't like each other, so the witnesses for each side are not going to like each other. You're saying the law would then prevent them from saying bad things on the internet. So
no, it's
so if Aiden
threatening
doesn't
an
like
emotional
Kate,
injury.
right? Aiden doesn't like Kate, right? So you're saying Kate could just file a lawsuit, make all of her friends witnesses, and then Aiden wouldn't be allowed to talk about any of those friends anymore?
Well, see, no. There's a lot of reasons why it ends up crossing over. Part of it is on June 28th, we had a hearing discussing her motion, which she was a witness. And he ended up showing a screenshot of that motion about 10 days beforehand or 5 days before the threat, which ended up saying she is a witness for Ryan. You should tell her, who is a dog abuser, you should go to her Facebook and tell her how you feel. And so he identified her as a witness shortly before threatening her. And he knew that we had a motion hearing.
Can I just interrupt there? I didn't identify her. I said that you were claiming she was a witness. You claimed she was a witness.
So
you said that. So she wasn't actually a witness. There was no witness list or anything like that.
It doesn't matter
you
whether
just
you
call
think
you
she
just
is
call
or not.
So basically, Ryan, by your logic, you can call anyone in the world a witness in your case. And my First Amendment rights would be limited in talking about them because you've put them on your witness list, even though they've never agreed to be a witness.
Well, no, but see,
You
the thing
believe
is,
that.
you testified that she did work for you for 2 years, and you testified
I didn't say
that
I never said she worked for me. And
You
the words
said so,
worked.
and
The words worked for me never came out of my mouth. It was
I
helped.
guarantee you
She's
it
helped.
did.
She's helped me with it. Workers get paid, Ryan. She didn't get paid shit. Never give her a dime.
Well, either way, that's what you said. But
I pay my workers money. She didn't get paid.
regardless, you said that you intimidated a witness for her.
So, but can you answer my question, Ryan? Is that, do you believe that you can just throw any name you want on your witness list? But that's what you're doing with her. You're saying she's a witness, and therefore I can't talk about her.
No, she gave me group chat messaging. You just said
No,
you
so she
admitted
didn't. You said she didn't give them to you. You said Shannon and Kate gave them to you.
Yeah, because she felt more comfortable that way. But whatever.
So you never actually spoke to her.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant.
It's perfectly relevant because she never said she'd be a witness.
Yes, because there's potential witness. And
no, she said she would never agree to that, Ryan. I wish she would. I'd love to have her as a witness, but unfortunately, she never would.
I don't know. She said she would, and of course she have to. If I subpoena her,
I mean, she have to. She doesn't have to.
Yes, if you subpoena somebody, they have to be your witness.
Okay. Well, first you need an actual charge, which you don't have. So there's that.
Well, that's
Yeah.
going to be the federal case in California.
That's been thrown out. Ryan, oh yeah, you're so smart. So Ryan, I've been involved in federal lawsuits before, and like Lauren pointed out, so somebody tried to sue me in the state of Rhode Island once, and I don't do business in the state of Rhode Island. All my business takes place in Massachusetts because I don't go to Rhode Island, I don't have customers in Rhode Island, nothing like that. So my attorney, the ACLU, actually represented me in that case, and they said this man does not do business in the state of Rhode Island, so this needs to be moved out of the state because this man doesn't do business here. And you realize that's what's going to happen to you if you try to file in California against.
Did you have a co-defendant in California in that case?
You mean Rhode Island, Ryan?
No. Did you have a co-defendant? Because in this case, your co-defendant is going to be Facebook, and Facebook actually has a clause in their agreement that
you're definitely going to be you're definitely going to be Facebook's attorneys for sure. That sounds like you're definitely going to be smarter than Facebook. I'm sure that with Google and Facebook, they don't have good attorneys. You're going to kill them, Ryan. Get them. Go get them.
Well, attorneys don't matter. It's the law.
Yeah, you're way smarter than them.
The law, 1986, is that if they are aware that there's a conspiracy going on and they do nothing about it, then they can be held liable. And the thing is they deleted my account a week the week after you sent the threats.
Interesting.
The day before Thanksgiving, which blocked me from collecting evidence. And then they filed a motion where they spent thousands of dollars trying to block an investigation into your crime. And they they allowed you during that same period, you broke their community terms and were supposedly banned for 30 days. But then you posted saying that, oh, look, I'm not really banned.
So you think that's a conspiracy, Mark? I'm conspiring with Facebook to make sure that I can continue to use the platform to hurt you. That's what you believe?
He's giving you special privileges.
So you think me and Mark Zuckerberg just chat all the time? Or
no, I don't think that.
If that happened, right? If I have these connections with Facebook, then why did I lose my page with 112,000 followers?
Actually, you wrote about that in your thing, and you ended up talking to Facebook employees like after your page got shut down.
No, we never did. Right. So no, that's not.
Wasn't there like a Nick something? You remember?
No, there's no Nick.
Oh.
Okay.
There was a couple.
Ryan,
there's no Nick.
What
Ryan,
are the joiner/supplemental rules of law that would allow you to join somebody without personal jurisdiction into your case?
There's two claims. The 1985, which is the conspiracy to violate a federal case, and or to intimidate a witness in a federal case, or party or witness. I'm a party. And then 1986 was is the Facebook claim, and that's how it gets to California, is because
those come from the same transaction or occurrence.
Essentially, yeah.
What do you mean? How?
Because
what's the Facebook? What are you suing Facebook for?
1986 is knowing that or being able to stop a 1985 conspiracy and just allowing it to happen.
So
or being an accessory, which is like, protecting somebody who's committed a conspiracy. So that's where they end up getting brought in.
Is it Rule 32, Aiden?
I don't know. I'm like Ryan. I don't pretend to be a lawyer. So.
Aiden, no. You know what I'm talking about? Like the rule where Facebook can't be charged with what?
Section
CDA, Section 230. Yeah.
Section 230.
Section 2. Thank you.
Okay, so
actually,
real quick on this,
the community in that.
Yeah. So the Section 230 says that Facebook cannot be held liable for what somebody else says. But see, in 1986, what the liability is having knowledge that somebody either committed or is about to commit a conspiracy and not doing anything about it. So therefore, the claim does not technically get you in trouble for his behavior, but rather your own. And that is your own. And the reason why they're getting brought in is because it's the lawsuit where they are, co-parties. So because they're already a party, that's where the duty ends up coming, is not from the publication, but rather from the lawsuit and knowing about a conspiracy and not doing anything about it.
So you still haven't answered the question. I need to come back to this, but so suppose this doesn't work out. Suppose you're big. I know, because you always say these things are going to work out and they never do. Suppose this one, I know it's unimaginable for you. Suppose this one in California doesn't go the way you planned.
Then we're done. Yeah.
So this is it. This is the last try. You're done.
Well, we got two.
This-
We got the current thing in Massachusetts, which is still going in the Supreme Judicial Court, and then we have one more thing in California.
Did you get the notice from the Supreme Court last week, Ryan?
Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah.
So can you tell us, did I win or lose that one?
That one got dropped. So we lost the first
Who's
time.
we? Who's we?
Oh, well, I mean, me and you. It was our first opportunity to go to
Wait,
the
no,
Supreme Court.
we're going against each other. So who you applied to go to the Supreme Court, not me. You applied.
They didn't hear the case.
So you lost. So you tried to get them to hear the case.
No. Well, yes, we failed to get the case heard.
You failed. I didn't.
Did
I apply?
It would be awesome to go to the Supreme Court.
No, it would be a huge waste of my time.
Well, hopefully we get to go. I mean, we got.
But I know, but it got denied, Ryan. So
see, well, here's the thing: if the state ends up siding in my favor, then I can end up noting that case, and I can end up saying, "Hey, now there's a discrepancy between the state and the federal court." And the other option is the state denies me, and they still have no intelligible reason. Boom, I can bring it to the Supreme Court again, and technically, they could consolidate it even after.
So you promised that if this thing in California fails, and if this if appeals that you're filing with the SJC fails, then me and you are done.
Yeah. Well, but then I'm going to be moving on to Article 1 things, where then
So
I'm going to start using your tactics against you and Facebook. I'm going to start sending, literally, I'm just going to copy your tactics like word for word.
What do you mean?
I'm just going to send it to like Facebook's advertisers and stuff like that.
So you're just going to harass Facebook's advertisers
on a mass scale. I'm going to encourage people to send your threats, the threats that.
And you think that's going to get people to stop advertising with Facebook? Gigantic companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they're going to stop.
You're going to have to read the book. Actually, that's not even it. But
are you going to read the book, Aiden?
There's no book, so just a cover. All it is it's just a cover. He's been talking about a book for quite some time.
Book, yeah.
With all this free time on your hands, Ryan, why isn't the book done yet?
Oh, it'll be.
You don't work. You don't work. What do you do all day? Like, can you tell me an average day in the life of Rian Waters? What it's like?
Man, in the last year, probably at least 40% of it was working on court cases
that have all lost
at this point. But so now some of it, when I worked in the state court, when I knew that they were going to deny me, when I was working on those cases, I knew they were going to deny it. So I was just building foundation for these appellate courts. I told you way back when I said that we were planning on the Supreme Court.
Okay, so you spend 40% of your time on these cases that have all gone nowhere. What do you do with the other 60% of your time?
I don't know, various things, go on hikes, play disc golf.
How do you like buy food? Like, where do you get money from?
I don't know. I survive.
I mean, it costs like what $30 a day probably to feed yourself. Like, where do you come up with that money from?
Massachusetts is generous. I had food stamps for a while.
So you collect food stamps. You're a perfectly capable man who can work and is not doing so. You're collecting.
I have an adjustment disorder because you always threaten me.
Oh, okay.
Do you have family?
Family, yeah, of course.
Yeah, where are
they?
they?
Chemist, we discussed that.
Do you still talk to them?
Are they still in your life? Your mom and your dad?
She's awesome. My dad, he gave me good genes. I don't really talk to him much. But
what about your mom?
I love her. I help her.
Where is she? What state? Not specifically.
I don't want to get too crazy in this, but she's in New York.
Okay.
Do you talk to her still?
Yeah.
And what does she think of all this?
The court cases. You're saying the court cases, or
yeah?
I mean, sure, she doesn't. Well, see, here's the thing. Actually, part of it, I'm actually a believer. My grandpa was a pastor, and that's actually a lot of this too. Is I do believe in God, and I don't know if you read the Book of Jonah in the Bible.
You're going off script here, Ryan. Can you just stick to the facts? Does your mother approve of this or not?
That's the long story short. Is I didn't choose this mission, but she approves of it.
So she approves of what you're doing. Does she offer you help or financial help, or do you get money from her still?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I mean,
Do you visit her ever?
yeah, I see her. Yeah.
I mean, how do you get around? Do you have a car?
I've actually driven without a license. Not all the time,
No. So
but
you're violating the law.
because I have to. Yeah,
You have
necessary
to break the
measures.
law. You
Because of
collect. So
you.
just to review, you collect money from the state, from the taxpayers. You leech off the taxpayers. You flagrantly violate our laws, and you clog up our court systems. You've
Because
also
you
get
make
arrested
it
for
too dangerous
abusing
to
women.
have a
Okay,
drive-through for
so
some.
yeah, you sound like a model citizen. So I mean, what you're doing,
Once you're
I think
taken care of, I'll get a
but
driver's license right away.
Ryan, the most disgusting thing, me aside, is honestly what you've put Sam Carden through, who's completely innocent in all
She
this and
would.
just
Oh,
wants to
come
be left
on. She
alone.
abused the hell out of me. That
Ryan,
was the whole thing.
this is
And why did she
gaslighting what
lie?
you're doing right
Why
now.
did she lie about the 3.5
Okay,
hours?
I don't want the bickering. I really don't.
Yeah, we should probably end this because
Look,
if he tries to snap about that, I'm gonna snap back.
I'm gonna have him go down in a second.
Oh,
I do think.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
Let's end this.
What
that
the
a
fuck?
ferret?
What was that?
That was a ferret.
No, that was a hold on. I just paused it. Oh my God, I am screenshotting that right now.
What is it?
That is a fucking human doll. That was a doll of a fucking woman. I swear to God.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Put it in the private chats. Picture didn't happen.
What are people in the comments seeing that? Did you guys see that?
Let's go to the comment section. Section, tell us what you saw.
Yeah, tell it. We need to.
You could go back and rewind. I can't because I.
Oh my God! What the fuck was that? Holy shit! What the fuck was it? I swear to God, he is a blow up doll wherever he is. I am going to screenshot this. I'm going to send it in the private chat right now, and you can bring. Can I?
Henry,
I can't put. Does anybody have? How can I send it? You guys all saw that, right?
Put it
in the comments.
The private chat. Put it in the private.
I can't put it. I can't put comment. I can't put pictures in the private chat.
Send it to me any way you want, and I'll send it to Henry.
You don't do Facebook.
Text message. Text me.
Oh yeah. Well, how can I text message my screen? I mean, well, okay. Now it's like 5 million steps.
A picture. Fine. Send it via Facebook. I have a Facebook.
So, I see you on there. Okay. Lauren. Let's see. You go by Lauren Hayden.
Lauren De Laguna. Woo. No, it's not Lauren De Laguna. It's my real name.
Okay, it goes by your real. Okay, hold on. Let me find it. There you go. This is going like, dude. I swear to God, either a passed out girl, like a human girl, passed out on him, or it's a blow up doll. I just sent it to you on Facebook.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Why does he have a blow up doll in here? And this interview just ended because that is
Henry, can you please put that on the screen? Like, you have a screenshot. Can you please put that on the screen?
There is no better way for the Rian Waters interview to end than for a blow up doll.
That's unfortunate because I wanted him to feel like it ended on good terms. Like, I didn't want bickering. I wanted you to be able to come up and clear any issues. But I wanted him to feel comfortable.
I know.
To come up.
I do too. But like that, the doll thing was going to happen either way. The doll thing was just. I can't believe that just fucking happened. I cannot fucking believe that. Oh my God! What the fuck is that? I just sent it again. Can we get it up on? Actually, wait. Can I bring it? Oh wait, I can just share my. I can just share my screen, can't I?
Yeah, Henry's about to do it. Yeah, you can share your screen either way.
Okay. Oh my God, this is one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen. I'm so happy this just happened. This was something else. Okay, hold on. Okay. Share screen.
I don't know.
Did it come up? How do I? It's in the below. I think the producer one has to bring it up.
Yeah, he'll do it. Well, okay, here it is.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck is that? What? I can't believe that.
No, maybe that's his friend's house that he's staying at.
Oh my God.
I am trying not to judge here. You know, I'm trying really hard.
Is he a Jeffrey Dahmer? That's the first thing I think of when I see that. Did he give her the Jeffrey Dahmer culotta? Like, that's what I'm wondering when I see this. Like, is that a human being? That does not look like a blow-up doll. That looks like something with a pulse. At one point, at least. Dude,
No.
I gotta check. What?
That's not a person.
Like, dude, what the fuck? Okay, I got some better angles over here I'm working on. Hold on. I can't, and then the way he like freaked out.
He is saying that this is not a blow-up doll, but this is in fact a child who ran to give him a hug.
No, that was a sleeping human being.
Can we,
Some
producer, sir, if
What
we
the
can
fuck?
get you to like clip that and slow-mo it?
Yeah, can we replay it? Can the producer
That
replay?
would be great. If we can get
Yeah.
like, okay, he's working on that. So
Okay.
he's already on top of it. He's
Of
the
course,
best.
he's good. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was fun. But
I think you did a good job tonight as far as the questions go, for sure. Good job.
I really wanted to give the chat okay, chat, what would you have asked Ryan? Like, I'm curious because I wanted to give the chat the opportunity to ask them questions. So, but now that's not going to happen.
I know. Well, the blow up doll happened. That wasn't so you can't say that I'm the one that caused him to leave because he left because of the blow up doll, whatever that was. That was going to happen with or without me here. It's interesting that it happened right when I asked about Sam Carden. He gets so flustered by that, which I don't get.
I feel really bad because I hope if Sam does watch this, she realizes that I'm just giving him and everybody else a fair opportunity to speak. Simultaneously, she seems like a very strong woman who's gone through a lot, and I don't want to call Ryan a liar. Simultaneously, I don't know of any drug use. I've seen no evidence of any cocaine use or anything along those. She seems like a great mom.
Oh yeah, she's literally raising a child, a special needs child, on her own without any financial help. She's got a good job. She's literally made herself from nothing. And she's a success story. And so just to hear him, the things that he says about her are just so evil. And it's just like, that's when he turns into like the devil, when he starts doing stuff like that.
She's more than welcome to. I would love to have her up too, because I think
she doesn't want anything to do with this.
I know. I was just gonna say
she wants to move on with her life, and he won't let her go. It's like literally the most abusive thing. But you're right. If you were too hard on him, if you like asked him like questions like that, he would have quit. You got the most out of him as you could. You got 2 hours worth of good Rian Waters content out of there. He said a lot of interesting things tonight about Michael Gaffney, about his relationship with Shannon and Kate. Now we know for certain that they both are the ones who initiated contact with him to help him out. So like Kate pretends to be a champion for women, but she literally reached out to a man who was arrested, who she wrote a blog about because she believes that he abused Sam Carden.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. It's one thing if you don't believe it, so you want to help him, but she was literally the person who wrote the blog.
Right. She was passionate about it, and it was a good blog. It was very good blog that she wrote about him. It was thorough. It had the police, like the things that you saw tonight, the police report. Like Kate got all those. She did a great job on those. And she pretended to be a champion of women, but clearly she's not. If she's now assisting this individual, it's like if your hatred of me overcomes your hatred of domestic violence, you have an unhealthy obsession with me, I would say.
So I think we got that clip.
I have it below. I have a couple freeze frames so you can actually see it in motion. If it can just get brought up there real quick.
No, yeah. Okay. So Henry, if you could just play what you just sent me, that would be great.
Oh, okay. Oh, that works too, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever works.
I cannot believe what I just saw. Like, he freaked out when that happened. He freaked out. There's no way that's a little. What the fuck was that? That thing is.
You put it on slow mo. Put it on slow mo and replay, if you don't mind, my dear. And then also, if we could put that link in the chat too, or like.
Okay, look at his face. What? He's like, the jig is up. What? Like, watch the way her neck bounces back now. Like, that is alive. That thing has a pulse.
He's saying it's a little girl that's running up to give him a hug.
What kind of little girl is awake at this time? It's midnight.
Oh my God, that's a very good point.
It's fucking you know what I mean? Like, why is there a little girl?
It is school.
Like, oh, I guess it's my show now. Okay. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, hopefully Lawrence. How crazy was that shit? How crazy was that, man? That was wild shit. Wait a minute. How come it's not? Am I the producer now? Am I in charge? This is my show. I can't bring up my screen. Let me try it again. That was a little girl, right? That was a little girl. We all saw it happen. That was insane. Was it not? Was that not the craziest night? This is not how I envisioned this night ending. Interesting night, to say the least. Interesting night, to say. Oh, there she is.
Sorry about that.
Hey, I'm the captain now.
Yeah, that's so funny. We did switch.
We take a vote in the comments. Like, so I think we should vote for the three options. We should have number one, it was a blow up doll. Number two, it was a drugged out girl or a dead girl, one of those two. Or number three, it's what Ryan says it was a child. So let's vote. One, if you think it was a blow up doll. Two, if you think it was either a drugged out or dead girl. Three, if you think it was a child coming to hug him, which seems, I don't know why a child would want to hug him ever. Big Billy thinks it's a blow up doll. Okay. He said he worked for the cartel tonight too. That was interesting.
Ooh, we're seeing too many twos for my comfort. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'm voting two. That's it.
I'm going with a 3.
Oh, come on. Come on. That was not a child. That was a woman. Can your producer bring on my pictures I got down there? Okay, here we go. What the fuck? Like, what? That thing was sleeping. That thing was sleeping. Okay? It was not conscious. That thing was not trying to hug anything. Its eyes are closed. Did you see the look? Did you see the look of terror in his eyes when that happened? Like, oh fuck. It's like when the cops came and found Dahmer's apartment. It's like the same shit. Like, oh fuck, I'm fucked now.
If people genuinely think, even if we wanted to do a wellness check, like even if we thought, okay, you don't know an address.
I know. That's the craziest part about this.
So even if you wanted to do a wellness check, you couldn't. They're just like potentially.
I don't even know what police to call. Or OD'd, or like Clarissa says, maybe OD'd. Subscribe now for free mandarins. Dude, that was fucking awesome. That was fucking awesome. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that was fun.
We'll have
that's going to be a good blog for tomorrow. I cannot fucking wait to blog about this now. This whole video is going to be in the blog. It's going to be great. Oh my God.
Oh, so
wow.
Great.
Wow. Okay.
It was a fun night. We had a fun night. Honestly, Ryan, like, I hope you don't take too much offense, and hopefully we can have a round 2 sometime in the future.
Yes, Ryan. So
have a good night.
Thank you, Lauren.
Bye, and thank you so much to everyone who came and everyone who watched and everyone who commented, and a special thanks to the producer who did such a kick-ass job tonight. So, yeah, have a good night, everyone.